Good afternoon, everybody, and I want to welcome you to the Shelby Township 911 ceremony. A great event, actually, obviously, that we never want to forget. And I want to thank all of you for coming, despite the rain we have. And on that note, I just want to turn it over to Mr. Randazzo, who is our events coordinator for all veterans events. Mr. Randazzo.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Okay, at this time, we're going to have the placement of the wreath by Fire Marshal Steve Henyon. Let's have a big round of applause for Steve coming up here. Thank you. Present arms. Order arms. I'll speak here a little bit on today, 9/11, 14th anniversary of the United States of America under attack from an enemy abroad, an enemy that's still a thorn in our sides over here. They might have to learn the lesson the hard way if they keep on pushing our military. And I hope that they get this film. That they get to see what I'm talking about. On that day, the biggest loss of casualties, and I'm talking as a military combat veteran, the biggest loss of casualties was our fire departments and our police departments, our EMS departments, officers, Coast Guards off the coast there in New York, in the bays. And we're here to salute them. You can see our EMS, fire, police, our first responders. You can see what we have in force here. And I think and I believe it's a strong force. I've seen strong forces over in Vietnam, and I see strong forces right here in Shelby Township. So as we go on right now, I'm going to introduce our police chief of Shelby Township. Chief Shelby, if we could have a big round of applause for the chief.
Thank you, Mr. Randazzo. Who doesn't remember where they were on 9/11/2001, 14 years ago today? I can recall distinctively where I was at that point and will for the rest of my life. Our way of life was put under attack by cowards from overseas. Radicalized Islamic terrorists attacked our way of life. On that day, interestingly enough, more Americans were killed on our soil than any other time in our country's history, including Pearl Harbor and World War II. We also lost 343 New York City firefighters who raced into the towers being collapsed at that time as everyone else was running away. 343 of our brave hero first responders perished on that day. Additionally, in law enforcement, 72 law enforcement officers were killed running into the towers, the single most loss of life in the history of law enforcement in the United States. Some tragic statistics we have here as the fight still goes on 14 years later. The terrorist attacks that shook our nation on September 11, 2011 also brought the end of the number of children who lost a parent on that day was 3,051. 17 babies were born on that day who lost parents in the collapse of the Trade Center. At the Pentagon in Washington, 184 people were killed when hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. Near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, 40 people were killed and crew members aboard United States Airlines Flight 93 when a plane crashed into a field. As I've stated earlier, the fight still continues 14 years because of our brave military members who are overseas for the last 14 years fighting this war on terror, fighting these cowards. The invisible cowards is what we refer to them. May God watch over us, especially our military and first responders. Thank you for your dedication and service.
Thank you, Chief. Also, representing the Shelby Township Fire Department, Chief Smikowski was on other matters at the moment. And speaking on behalf of the fire department, Lieutenant Inspector Brian Wagner, if we can have him up here.
I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Randazzo, to all our veterans of foreign wars, and our current veterans that are serving, or military that is serving, and to our honorary board members that are here today. 14 years ago, I was on shift working with my brothers and sisters of the fire department, and as the police chief stated, I think we can all remember where we were and what we were doing. It was a sad day for fire service, police service, and our military, and as the police chief stated, that the war will go on to find the cowards that did that day and that continue to terrorize us to this day. So I would like to just once again say thank you for all being here, and God bless America.
Okay, once again, before we continue, how many people realize where they were or remember where they were? And I'm sure you were kind of shaken up about it. Everybody was scared, worried, didn't know what was going on. But that's the way war is. Like I said earlier, it's just our presidents haven't finished it yet. But they will finish it shortly. Shouldn't go on any further. At this time, we're going to have a young lady, Miss Tracey Murray, sing a rendition of a song that I grew up with. It was done by Keith Smith back in the day, way back, and it fired up the troops. It showed patriotism in the country. And I wanted that patriotism to still be heard out there, all the way to Russia, all the way to the Middle East, and over there to China with their boats sitting up in Alaska trying to bluff us. So if we can have a big round of applause for Miss Tracey Murray. Let's hear it for her. Come on. She's going to do a rendition.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you very much, Terry. And at this time, we'll be concluding this ceremony for our 9/11 Patriot Day. And if anybody from the board, they're all here. Mr. Grout, Mr. Wozniak, Mr. Vire, Mr. Carabelli, Mrs. Filer. I'm sorry, Carabelli, you look like Mike. Mr. Flynn. And all the firemen and the policemen, all the troubles they went through, not troubles, the honors that they brought their vehicles in. We'd like to thank everybody, and God bless America once again.